All right, guys, we're back with homework for tonight, page 159 and page 160. Question number 1 says, look at the slope and the number of solutions for the first two systems of equations in the example. What do the system have in common? So we're looking at these first two systems of equations, and we can tell that it has different slopes, and they both have one solution. So looking at this first two, different slopes, and they both have one solution, all right? Question number 2 says, use the coordinate grid showing a graph of the third system of equations. So I'm looking at this one. Why does the system have no solution? So I need to graph this first, and then I need to tell them why it has no solution. So I'm graphing both of these so we can figure out it has no solution. And remember, when we were looking at the graphs today, for a graph to have no solution, it needs to be parallel and it should not intersect. So when we were graphing, I have y equals 3x minus 2, y equals 3x plus 3. All right? When you're graphing, you're taking your y-intercept, which is the b, which is the number standing alone without the variable, and you're going to use that as your first point. This is your y, and your y-intercept, the x value for your y-intercept is always going to be 0, okay? So this is going to be your first point. So when I'm graphing this, let me use this. Let me get my graph. So when I'm graphing this, I'm going to go to 0, 2 first. 0, 2. I'm going to go up 1, 2. That's going to be my first point, okay? Then I'm going to use my slope, which is 3. Whenever it's just a whole number like this, you want to put it over 1. And you're going to say rise over run, okay? Rise means you're going up. If it's positive, you're going up. If it's negative, you're going down. So you're going to start at your y-intercept, and I'm going to go up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go to the right 1 time, 1. And this is where my second point is going to be. And then I'm going to draw my line. Do I have a ruler? I should use a ruler, but I'm not. Okay, it's not too straight, but it's not bad. So I need to do the same thing for my second equation. My y-intercept is 3, so I know it's going to be 0, 3. That's going to be my first point. 0, 1, 2, 3. And then my slope is 3 again, so I'm going to go up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Go to the right 1 time. So my second line is going to be right here. Now, they're really close, but they're never going to touch each other because they're two parallel lines, okay? So because they don't intersect, that's why it has no solution. All right, question number 3 says, form a system of equation with equations 1 and 2 without graphing. Explain how you can tell how many solutions the system have. Okay, so they want us to form a system with equation 1 and 2. Equation 1 is y equals 2x plus 3. Equation 2 is y equals 2x minus 3. So this is my system of equation. And it says without graphing, so we're not graphing these. Tell how you can, explain how you can tell how many solutions the system have. So I have the same slope, different y-intercept. Same slope and different y-intercept means that the lines are not going to intersect, kind of like we did here. See how we have the same slope and different y-intercept? So the lines don't intersect. That means I have no solution. So number 3, no solution. Number 4 says, form a system of equations with equation 1 and 3. Okay? Equation 1 is still y equals 2x plus 3. Equation 3 is 2y equals 4x plus 6. Now, when it is not in the form of y equals mx plus b like this, you got to get it in that form, okay? So you got to get this y alone. For me to get this y alone, all I have to do here is divide by 2. So when I divide by 2, 2 over 2 is going to give me 1. So it's just going to be y equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2x, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is my second equation becomes this. My first equation is this. And I'm looking at it, I see 2x, my slope is the same, and my y-intercept is the same, which means I have infinite many solutions. Whenever your slope and your y-intercept is the same, that means you have infinite many solutions, all right? Question number 5 says, Tanya says that a system of equations formed by equation 2 and 3, so equation 2 and 3 would be y equals 2x minus 3 and y equals 2x plus 3. So equation 3 is this, but when I rewrote it, it ended up being this, so that's why I have it like this. So Tanya said, we'll have numbers, the same number of solutions has a system formed by equation 1 and 2. So let's figure out what 1 and 2 is. Equation 1 is y equals 2x plus 3. Equation 2 is y equals 2x minus 3, okay? So now let's look at the solutions. Same slope, different y-intercept. I know that I have no solution because they're not going to intersect. Same slope, different y-intercept, no solution again. So, is she correct? I'm going to say yes. They both have the same number of solution, which is no solution. All right? And the last question, question number 6, says the system of equations shown below has no solution, which is true because we have the same slope but different y-intercept. I have a -1 and I have a +1, okay? So that's why I have no solutions. Graph your new system on the coordinate grid to support your answer. So I just need to graph it. All right, let me graph this bad boy. Let me draw my graph. Remember, when you're graphing, the first thing you need to do is get your y-intercept. And the equation is y equals 2x minus 1, y equals 2x plus 1. My first y-intercept is -1, so I'm going to have 0, -1. I'm going to plot that, 0, -1, so I'm going down. And then I'm going to use my slope, which is 2. So it's going to be 2 over 1, rise over run. Since it's +2, I'm going up 2 times. 1, 2. And I'm going to the right 1 time, so I'm going to end up there. Draw my line. If you have another pencil or a ruler, try to use it to get that line as straight as possible. My second equation, my y-intercept is 1, so I know it's going to be 0, 1. So my first point is going to be right here. And my slope is still 2, so rise 2, 1, 2, run 1. So draw my line. So even before, we already knew that it had no solution because the slope was the same, but the y-intercept was different. But now when I graph it, I can tell because it's not intersecting. I have 2 parallel lines that is not intersecting. So that confirms that I have no solution. All right? That is it.